Hey guys, how are you doing?
We're doing mighty fine. I mean, weekend is coming and the weather is nice, so
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Doing great. Yeah, the weather is fine. The summer is coming.
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, it can all turn around. So.
This year is a bit like late. And at some point it was okay, now it's coming. It's going to be 20 degrees. And then again was like 10 degrees. So,
And it can change anytime. So.
yeah. Let's see. Maybe we will have a very warm Juhannus.
yeah, let us hope so, and not too much snow.
Yeah. But let's talk about your band, What Await Us, and your last release. Because your release was last week,
Yeah, exactly a week from now.
Vanish into Grey. So,
Yes.
what can you tell about this new song?
So first of all, well, basically, right from the get-go, we kind of knew what we were going for with Vanish. It was a bit more melodic. It had like it brought us closer back to our roots in a way, since the last release, Hell Above, was pretty technical and deathcore-y. And we've had this long time dream of doing something good with our music, and this seemed the right opportunity to do it. Especially, we had a discussion with the singer of Split Iris, Aleksi Rautiainen, who actually, I think he works as a teacher, and we shared some views on this topic, which is raising awareness of loneliness and mental health in general. And theme wise, it kind of just came together from there.
Yeah. And talking about loneliness, because you put always, well, you do your research when you are writing your songs. That is something that I find very interesting. And I don't think that many bands do. Maybe, don't know. But according to the World Health Organization, in what you state, I didn't check. I must admit that I didn't went to check. So this is what you check out. So 25% of adult experience loneliness, and 63% anxiety.
Yeah, or I mean, the World Health Organization has deemed the global loneliness a real health threat, and that 25% of adults and basically all age groups from teens to the elders experience loneliness or feeling fairly lonely. And 63% of the people who are anxious or depressed, it's directly linked to loneliness. And well, the WHO tells and states that it is a global health threat and a silent crisis, really. And well, since the people are lonely, the kind of like it gets harder to talk about, and people very easily tend to get stuck in their own homes, clinging to something that brings them dopamine, and that being, say, social media or just simply their phones or whatnot. And it kind of closes down that world to the single set of rooms you got in the comfort of your own home, and days blend together, and it's gray and it's bleak. And we wanted to remind everyone to, well, keep their loved ones close, remember to ask, are they okay in general, and thus bring color back to their lives.
Yeah. Do you feel, or well, have you ever experienced loneliness yourself?
Yes, I personally, and I think others in our band can relate, that have been subjected to bullying at a young age, and that usually subject a person to loneliness very easily and getting detached from friend groups and stuff like that. Well, that's really where the idea of helping others with our music came together, because music was such a big help for me personally, at least in my teens, overcoming loneliness, getting back out onto the world, connecting with friends, making new ones, and all that. We want to, in a way, help others overcome it the same way we did. I think Olli has some views on this too.
Yeah, from time to time, yes. But I have to say I've been pretty lucky. For example, I have a long relationship with my girlfriend, 18 years plus now at this point. And well, I have had friends, and friends are like they help a lot and they mean a lot. So that's pretty important to me, to keep them by my side because they are always there to help you and to listen to you and such. So, but yeah, of course, time to time, even though I have friends, loneliness sometimes creeps in. It's a real thing.
Yeah, and to add to that, after like childhood and the teens, and personally overcoming loneliness, I've noticed a lot of old friends and old, like the people you've been connected to, they silently fade away, and we don't know what's behind that. There might be cases of loneliness or getting stuck to their own homes, especially after COVID times. I mean, everybody probably experienced some degree of loneliness and isolation during that time. So it kind of reflects back to that too. But in the modern world where there's no COVID limitations or anything like that, there still is a great deal of loneliness about, and we need to bring it up. We need to remind people to connect with their old friends, and you never know what one might be experiencing behind closed doors and wondering why doesn't anybody call me.
Yeah. I was thinking about me. If I think, yeah, I think I have kind of experienced loneliness, even if I will say I was never alone. But maybe I felt more cut out. Sometimes, in particular when you are a kid, you feel like cut out. You are not part of the group. You are not the cool kid. So,
And
I
we have
think
to remember that being alone and loneliness are different things. For example, I enjoy being myself alone, but the feeling of loneliness it's a different thing.
Yeah. And then, I start to think about the childhood trauma just while studying physiotherapy in Finland. And we have this psychosomatic physiotherapy course. And then I realized, oh, okay, I'm doing these things, I'm reacting in this way because of some trauma. And that is related to loneliness. So I try to correct the way I act with people sometimes, and trying to work on that. But it's important to think about what happened in your life since childhood and realize, okay, this is a trauma. I need to accept it. It's not going away, but you can work on it, and you can live with it without making you do stupid things, let's say. But yeah.
And trauma is it's not a specific thing. It can be many things. Usually people think the first thing that comes to head if you say trauma, it's something specific moment, like a car accident or something happened, but it can be so much more. It can be a build-up over the years of small things or something. Actually, in my case, I don't know. What it,
Yeah,
because my childhood was excellent. I have loving parents and such, but still something lingers in there, which caused some problems now in the adulthood, and it hasn't never been revealed what was it. It could be those little things, stress from work and such. Then they just build up, and that sometimes they hit the cap, and then you can see or feel like the symptoms come up at that point.
yeah,
So
and
a lot
it
of
boils
things behind
over.
that.
It can be, and it is in a way a combination of things. I mean, personally, at home, I too had loving parents, and everything was fine. But it was just that when I had to go out in the world, I was bullied. I didn't really make new friends or get accepted to any friend groups, and that's how it starts in the young years in school, as a child, as a teen. But then as you become an adult, it might go the other way, whereas you might have had a perfect childhood and a lot of friends and everything's good back at home, but then suddenly everybody starts with their own lives and kind of just drift apart. And there is a great deal of adults, and especially uh, when people become old, the old friends might be drifted so far apart there's no point even contacting them. And yeah, as Olli said, trauma can be a combination of factors. It can resurface, it can pop up symptoms even with much smaller issues in your adulthood, or especially when you're old. It's a very complex matter, but
Yeah.
in the end there is still the core thing we're trying to raise awareness about, and it's the loneliness and isolation, and people just locking themselves in their own homes.
Yeah, I have a question because men usually, and also Finnish men in particular, but men in general in the world, uh, they tend not to cry. I don't cry. I never cry. Do you cry?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, but I understand where this comes from. Men usually are seen as those strong parts who keep everything place and are there for the support, and so that's why they can't break because they have to be the pillar. But for me, at least, I don't know. I don't have like issues to show my emotions.
That's
But
good.
yeah, I have heard that a lot, that men don't cry and should not
Yeah,
cry.
I'm pretty similar in that matter, that and I understand totally where it comes from, that men don't cry and all of that. And for me personally, yeah, I do cry, but I just realized when you asked that question that it's typically behind closed doors, so I won't like show it to the world, even though I too don't have any issues showing my emotions and like let them show happiness or anger or sadness in that matter. But yeah, breaking out the waterworks usually happens behind closed doors.
Yeah, yeah. I think that crying is a very good way to let it go. I'm very good in crying, but I also try not to cry in front of others.
Mm,
But then it depends. It's stress. Is the stress like high level? For example, right now, yeah, I could cry if something trigger me because I have stress. So yeah, I know that I will be like a bomb, and then cry and try to explain the other. There is nothing wrong. I just need to let go.
yeah, we
But,
react in different ways to different situations, and it's a personal thing how you do it or how it
yeah,
comes out.
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's actually a topic in the lyrics to an extent. In the chorus, there's a line, "Suppress the intricate emotions," which is which is usually what a people who is like having this gray episode of loneliness, they suppress it, they hide it behind something, or just, you know, replace going through the feeling in a way by doom scrolling and searching other types of quick happiness boosts to just simply keep you at that level that you don't have to process those emotions. And that is also an issue. And yeah, of course, talking about it is the first step. I mean, we've gotten an excellent talk now about emotions and stuff. We hope that people would do that more and reach out to those who might actually need that conversation really badly.
Yeah.
Someone just may need a conversation starter, and then it starts to come out. It just needs that little something in the start to keep it coming. Or
what is your opinion when it comes to social media about loneliness, about anxiety? Is social media something aggravating it, or is something that may help to work on those issues?
It's a double-edged sword, I'd say.
It is.
It helps,
yeah.
but it can make it worse, because the one thing is that people outsource their happiness. For example, like they want likes and views to their posts. That's like outsourcing your happiness. But of course, there is the more positive side, which is that you can more easily connect with people, of course.
Yeah.
So two ways in that.
Yeah, but in a case of a lonely person or a person experiencing loneliness, it can very quickly slide downhill, where this person can perceive themselves as something, and then look at the screen and see something which they at the moment perceive to be something much better, much better looking, at much better phase of their life than them. And then it becomes an issue. They might become closed. They might be, it gets even harder and harder to break out of that shell if they, scroll through hundreds of, let's say, they've bought an apartment, but someone's bought a house, like a 3-story massive house, and then they get ashamed about what they have and look at what others have, even though it's all like plastic. It's a plastic paradise.
Comparing
it's front.
Everything is like a race. That's the one thing that's, you live in two realities, sort of. You have your own, this reality, and then you have the other on your phone, which usually it's not that real.
Yeah, there is a lot of fake happiness on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that. I think that Facebook is a bit different because it's considered now for old people. So I think that I'm starting to be old. Well, yeah, I can say that I'm in my midlife. But I was at some point mad with social media and with Instagram, for example, or Facebook, or because I take photos of gigs and I put my love on those photos. I try to get the best photo as I can, and then I was like upset because people were not liking the photos. And as soon as I put a random selfie, then everybody was liking. And then I was, what's wrong with you? That's an ugly photo. But yeah, that made me mad. But then, what you can do in this world.
Sometimes it's hard to see the reality behind those things, and likes or views or shares don't mean that it's good or bad. It could be both. So,
and then why do we care about likes? why it's so important that the people that maybe we don't even know likes our photos or videos.
Instant
Shouldn't
reward.
that be that you as person, you are a good person, you are a person that people around you appreciate and love? That should be important. Everything else is something extra. It should be not important, never.
Exactly, and that's really the issue with social media in 2025, where everyone's got to be an influencer and post about them like reaching their goals in basically any aspect you can imagine. Let's take some random hobby like flying a kite. Well, there's this person who has this amazing kite collection, and then a person looks at, should I get into this, and then they just give up because somebody does it all, somebody already does it better. And well, for starters, this person only wanted to fly that kite, but it's become a race, and everybody's got to be an influencer these days, and that is problematic in today's social media.
Yeah, it's also the easy money, fast money, and
Yeah.
then the world needs people to do important jobs. Being an influencer, let's be serious, it's not important. You are not doing anything for make the world a better place, pretty much. Or well, maybe there are some that may influence with some certain serious topics.
There is also that if you have a large like a follower base, you can raise awareness of important things, or you can talk about something we are doing right now. So you have a kind of responsibility in a way, and even more so if you have a large follower base. So for example, misleading people or giving misinformation, that could be really dangerous. As we can see in today's world, it can actually affect wars. So there is this high risk, high reward, and this kind of stuff going on. So it has its uses, its positive sides, but it has this darker side as well. Especially now that everybody is on Instagram or some kind of social media, or they follow some kind of digital channel or whatever. So you can do good, but you can do really evil things also. So there is that. But yeah, we need also the people who take our trash to the filling sites, and we need people to clean things and make things and construction things and so what. So it's, well, a lot of things.
Yeah, there are a lot of important professional figures that are needed in this world. So but I'm thinking about the younger generation, because I think we are more or less the same age. We grow up without phone, or well, with the normal phone that was at home, but without what's cellular phone, and without social media. I joined Facebook in 2007, if I remember, 2006 maybe, 2007, and I was 21. So I think that the new generation will see the world in another way compared to us.
I agree.
In particular, the work and the relationship also, maybe.
Yeah, and well, when we were kids, it was common practice that when we wanted to reach a friend, we walked to their place or bike to their place and asked them to play ball outside or something like that. That does not happen anymore, or at least to that extent. I really hope it does still, but they just the theme of the song is centered in like self-isolation and social media at that part. They just simply scroll on TikTok and send each other reels and stay indoors. Might be because of the COVID pandemic, or just simply because they get stuck with it, and maybe it's not as heavily regulated by the parents anymore. That's a whole another topic which we won't be diving in right now. But the main thing is, I think it's way less rare that a young person in their childhood or teens goes out and fetches their friend to play ball at the yard.
Yeah, that's true. But now let's get back to the song. And so Aleksi from Split Iris is in the song, and you were saying that you talk about this topic. Was it that you decide to have him as guest in the song prior to talking about those kind of stuff, or after the talk?
It was after the talk. We met at our show in Pori, in which we shared the stage together. And first of all, we were super impressed by his vocals. I mean, the guy can sing. Brought to mind many great and like very top metalcore names, such as Sam Carter from Architects and stuff like that. We were very impressed by his ability. And we had this melodic song. I had already written the lyrics. I had already constructed the melody. It's not that we wouldn't have had ability to do that on our own, but once we saw this guy's ability, then we were starting to talk about feature, which is, I think it's the first time in it, Olli.
Yeah, it is.
And it is also a first time clean vocals have been, like entirely clean vocals have been incorporated in What Awaits Us music. But yeah, after their show, we had a lengthy talk backstage where we, just casually chatted about all things mental health and their future plans and stuff. And then we dropped the question that, hey, we have this real melodic song and we're really impressed of your ability. Would you like to work with us? And he was with us from the get-go, especially as we talked about the theme. Then he revealed working in, I think he is a teacher, his profession. And like he sees these kind of things, like people getting stuck behind their screens and not interacting with people and slowly succumbing to self-isolation behind social media and stuff like that. It is an important topic to raise awareness about, and for that he was on board from the get-go.
Yeah, and now it happened to record the song with him. So did he do his vocals in his home studio, or how did you manage to do it?
He has a studio, so he kind of did it remotely and sent us the tracks.
Yeah.
And that we mixed them in.
Yeah. Where did you record the song, the wall song?
Well, all over the place actually, but mostly in my place, because nowadays you can record guitars and bass and stuff basically wherever you want because of the amp simulation stuff. So everything is on the computer. You don't need the huge boxes anymore, which is a good thing, and it opens up a lot of doors sound wise, but also kind of you have a lot of options which you can drown in, but it's a net positive thing. So the answer is all over the place, in our rehearsal place, in my place here, and I think in Miika's place something. But yeah, you don't need a huge studio today, so it's much more easier that way.
Yeah, and the song is amazing, so congratulations for this. I have been listening to that song more than a few times.
Nice.
In the song there is everything that I like about music, so Yeah.
We're
Good.
glad you like it.
Yeah. So you have been together as band for 10 years, a bit more now.
Yeah, it's actually longer than that. We have had few lineup changes on the way, but this what awaits us has been, well, 11 years to say about. We
Yeah.
started out as a different band, but we changed the name and tweaked the genre a bit. But same people like Mika, our other guitarist, has been there from the very start with me. Allo joined
5 years ago, or at least
yeah.
5.5 years ago now.
Levi is our newest member who joined 2 years ago.
Has it been 2 years already?
I don't know. These years blend together, man. I don't. COVID
Time
basically
flies.
did everything from 20 to 23 almost. For me, it's 1 year. They all blended together.
So now that you released this song, what's next for What Awaits Us?
Yeah, well, next for what awaits us is, well, we wanted to celebrate our 10th anniversary this year, and we've gotten it to a very nice start. We played a lot of shows, and I think we are about to hit our like a record of most shows played in a year this year. We have a lot of shows booked for the entire year, and we should cap this 10th year off with a bigger release. We will, at this moment in time, we will keep the details to ourselves, but that I can confirm that there's a bigger release coming.
Okay, so let's wait.
More
And
gigs, more music.
Yeah.
Nice. And you just played 2 days ago. Okay, now I have to say, now we are 6th of June, because I'm not sure if this interview is going to be out this Sunday or the next one. So just let's put the people that 2 days ago was the 4th of June, and you play in Helsinki on the Rocks. So how was that gig?
Man, it was awesome. I mean, we had some like deviancies on how we functioned, but for a weekday show, as it was Wednesday 2 days ago, it was amazing. I mean, the crowd wasn't like the biggest ever, but it was so active. We got the mosh pits going in I think it was the first song already, and yeah, I mean, it was amazing. We also made an announcement there, which we can reveal at this show. We actually have, behind closed doors, made a new merch design. It's a T-shirt. It will be themed heavily around the Vanish into Grey cover art, which you can see behind Olli right now. But the thing is, the pre-sale will be open to the public on Sunday, and it will be 25 euros plus the posts, and all the profits we gain from pre-sales of that shirt will be donated to Finnish Red Cross, and will go towards, well, for example, voluntary friend training for people experiencing loneliness, and it will keep the youth safe houses open 24/7 every day of the year. So that's a thing we wanted to do. I talked about in the beginning of the show of how we wanted to do good and raise awareness with our music. Well, we're raising awareness with it, but now it's time to do some real good. And this charity campaign, I hope we will be able to raise some money and donate it for the good together.
That's great. Now it's always in my head, this thing, but doing this connection with loneliness and with my job, and my clients, and I work with mostly neurological clients. I think that a lot of those people are lonely, feel loneliness, and sometimes I think about those that are into metal music, for example, and the opportunity to go to see gigs is very small because a lot of the location are not accessible for people in wheelchair or with a rollator, or maybe there is not the invalid toilet. So it's something that at some point I would like to see change in the world. To I don't know there are any musicians that are in a wheelchair, because you don't see those. Have you ever seen someone?
Not really, apart from Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters when he broke his leg and still did the show. He had a wheelchair.
Yeah,
But
and
other
then
than that, I don't know.
Diano was in a wheelchair, and he did few show. But yeah, there is. I think that maybe there are people that are in a wheelchair or whatever, but they love to make music, but they don't have the chance to go and play live, because most of the time the stage are not. It's going up with a wheelchair on some stair. It's not impossible, but it's not easy.
Yeah, and it's very rarely talked about, and well, inclusion in general in today's modern world, luckily, is way more talked about than, say, like 20 years ago. But still, a lot of work could be done, especially with the smaller venues across Finland and across the world, where they could have opportunities for people experiencing these kind of difficulties to come and experience and enjoy the music, because music is a universal thing, and basically anyone can enjoy it. And well, music is the best. I mean, music is best experienced live, and yeah, luckily it's more talked about, but clearly not enough.
Yeah. Let's say that festivals are something that people can enjoy, but clubs gigs are a bit more hard. And when you are healthy and have no issue, you don't see that. So that's something that I have been thinking for a while. How to make the metal world even more accessible. But let's see. Maybe one day I will be rich and I will I will make some things to make opportunity becomes a thing. But let's get back to your gigs. So next July you are going to play in Jyväskylä and Tampere.
Yes, correct.
So in Jyväskylä was Rockneck, is it?
Yes, it's restaurant Rockneck, and if I don't entirely remember it wrong, it was with Nameless and Our Hands Tied. And during that same week, on Friday or Saturday, I don't remember right now, but we will play another show, which will be a headline show at Maanalainen.
Okay.
And that was actually very lately confirmed. I don't remember the bands right now, but
Yeah.
but anyways, if you're interested, do check out our socials. All the info is and will be there, because there is a lot to follow, with the latest shows being confirmed today.
Okay. So soon more shows will be announced.
For sure. I mean, it's going to be a busy September and October for us.
Yeah. Are the shows all going to be in Finland or also somewhere else?
For now, we're going to stay within Finland's borders. We're going to visit cities such as, well, we mentioned Jyväskylä and Tampere, but there's also going to be Lahti, Lappeenranta, Vantaa, and some others. We don't quite have confirmation yet, but there has been talks for us visiting, say, south of UK and the Baltics next year, but those are only plans at this stage.
Yeah. I think that you deserve to go and play all around, because your live show is pure energy. And I must say that the show that you play last time in Pori, first time that I saw you, but yeah, it was impressive, and it was one of the
Thanks.
best club show that I have seen, and it was great to see three, not just one, but three amazing bands, and it was just wow. And yeah, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That Pori show was indeed, the lineup was well energetic from start to finish, and yeah, that's something we've always tried to incorporate in our live shows. I mean, it's intense, and we all enjoy these intense moments and speed and dangerous situations, as they say in Finland. Well, of course, not that dangerous, but of course, present the feeling of intensity and to interact with the crowd, get them going with us. We just want the whole place to move, and we're really glad that we are succeeding in that.
Yeah, that's great. And now let's talk about metal in general. So what I want to know is, how did you get into metal and when?
As a kid, but how? Maybe through punk for me, like lighter punk, and then like the real thing, and that just escalated into a more aggressive stuff. And now here we are with the metalcore and deathcore stuff.
Olli, I want to hear about that punky stuff. Like, what bands were there about the lightier punk stuff?
Bad Religion.
Nice.
What else? Well, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the game.
Oh, all right.
Had a lot of
I
punk
get
songs
it,
in
bro.
it.
I get it.
So that's one thing. But then I think that like really for me was first System of a Down with their first album, which actually has also this hand in it. It's not this hand, but still. That kind of took me to the more aggressive stuff. Well, the earlier System of a Down stuff is weird. Maybe that also. But then came In Flames, Dark Tranquility, and the Göte metal, Göteborg metal. And well, that really hit me hard. And actually, you can still hear those elements in our music today, like the old In Flames stuff, with all the melodies and harmonies in the guitars, and they still are with me and with us. So, in a short, that's the path for me, at least.
For me, it was a bit simpler one, you would say. I got it from my father, first of all. I, as a kid, raided his CD shelves, trying to find something to listen. I was big into Maiden as a kid, and in came Metallica, and that really caught me. I remember the time before Spotify and all these other streaming services. I used to collect their CDs, and I think I had them all at some point, all up until Death Magnetic, at least. I don't know. And if I didn't have it, I borrowed it from the library. That's another thing that most people won't probably do these days. But yeah, after that, when I went to school, of course, there was all sorts of musical influences, but mine just stuck. Everybody was listening to rap. I remember the dubstep phase at one point. Dubstep is kind of cool, though. But then I quickly transitioned to Children of Bodom, and it caught me the same way. I tried to get all their CDs with much less success, and pretty much then it was Lamb of God came in. Then I was starting to do my first bands at the back of my friend's mother's owned flea market. There was a back storage room where we used to jam the classics, and then I kind of started moving towards Helsinki and joining bands there and got influence. Medea is probably one of the biggest influences for me. They just simply are unable to do any bad songs. But as for the more core stuff, that came in a bit later. I was this weird death metal kid in a core and a scene kid band at first, but then I started digging Thyardis Murder, and yeah, well, nowadays I'm pretty well aligned with the guys in What Awaits Us on what we want to do, and I love the fact that there's still the In Flames influenced riffs on the background.
Yeah.
I have a few phases in there that I got to mention, like the progressive metal thing, Dream Theater and stuff. And then there was the thrash metal phase, The Haunted. I mentioned that we had a different name before What Awaits Us, which was Aurora. And that was like What Awaits Us, but with a trashy vibe. So The Haunted kind of stuff. And that still is with me also, I have to say. I really love the old thrash metal stuff.
Yeah.
And the speed and the raw like energy of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the influences that stuck, it's basically the same with me with Medea. Like I spoke about the intensity of the shows earlier. I was so sad when they announced they would retire the band, as those guys, like all the shows I saw, it was like pure intensity from start to finish. It was packed with energy. It was everything you could imagine from a live show, and that something similar is what I want to achieve of a live performance of What Awaits Us.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's fun how almost everybody go through phases about the music. Everybody starts from one point, then there is a phase, then there is another. Then I think that at some point you don't have a really favorite genre in the metal subgenre, so it's sometimes you feel like you want to listen to some oldie, something that you were listening at a certain point. I don't know, when I listen to Spotify when I'm biking or on the bus, and I put the shuffle list of liked songs, and then sometimes start a song that I was listening more than 10 years ago, then it's like, okay, yeah, I remember the time and my hopes and my dreams, and it's kind of sweet, if I could say like this.
Oh, for sure.
You attach memories and stuff to different songs, or your like where you were at that point of your life. You can remember, oh, this was the song that I remember listening to this when I did that. And
yeah. But do you remember which was the first album that you bought?
It was probably for me something from Metallica. It must have been. It just might have been And Justice for All or Master of Puppets.
I think it was the System of a Down self-titled, so the first album. But for me, I also listened to cassettes. So, damn, I'm old.
I must say that the first album was cassette. It was Blink 182. What's my age again? that was the first that I went to the store and got. But yeah. So cassette with the Walkman. Yeah. Good time. Or well. Sometimes when the cassette was stuck there, and that was a hell.
But I remember having that huge like a book-like thing with pages where you could put the CDs on, and I was always traveling with it.
Same thing.
It was always with me.
I also draw kind of it was taken from a tattoo books. So I draw this eye, half angel and half devil, and and then I had the most. Okay, now I'm saying something that is not good, and I'm not proud about that. But there were a lot of compilation, burnt CDs. So
yep, had those also.
Yeah, so not proud of that, but that was the time
when MP3 started to circulate. People were like doing those compilation CDs and changing and giving the MP3 files to people. So I had those CDs also.
Yeah, same here. My father used to burn me some CDs.
Yeah, but and I remember I didn't had any CD reader, so I used the PlayStation 1 to listen to those CDs at the time. That was something before computer and stuff like that. We had a computer, but just floppy disk.
Yeah, nowadays it feels strange to even think about that. Like there's burning CDs was a thing. To put those files in there and then wait when it did the thing, and then you would have a compilation CD with the songs that you chose in it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's been years that the computers don't even have a CD, like the deck in it.
Yeah. Before that, with the cassette, you have to listen to the radio and just start to record when the song went on. That also had few compilation I did with all my love about really random songs. But that was the time of being young teenager. But let's get back to you and how you got into metal and stuff like that. Do you remember the first rock or metal or punk gig that you attend?
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was very underage. I think it was 2011. I'm a bit younger. It was In Flames and Trivium at the Helsinki Ice Hall, and I was very big into Trivium right after Metallica, so that was huge. I remember we were there in advance before the doors even opened, and of course ran to the front row, and we stayed there for the entire thing, even through the swaps and everything. And it was 4 bands that night. We were super dehydrated and super tired of all headbanging, and my ears were ringing and all of that. But still, oh man, I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, actually, surprise! My first like bigger gig was also In Flames gig. I think it was in Tampere, if I remember correctly. It was with Mika was with me, our other guitarists, and I remember that he had a friend who was older who could drive us there, and before the gig, when we were driving there, we drank some nasty liquor in the back seat, but it was like a head explosion thing when we got there and like saw a real band that we have been listening long, and you can actually see the guys right in there with volume up, all the lights and stuff. That was huge.
Yeah. the first gig I saw, of course, it was Blink 182. I was like fangirling kind of then, but opening for them in my hometown in Italy, that was like a rare occasion that someone that is not Italian come to play in that city. But Defton was opening, and I had no idea who Defton was back then. But yeah, so I started at, I think I was 14, maybe, not sure, early 2000. Was it 2000 or 2001? Don't know. But yeah, wait. If I was 14, was 2000. Was I 14? I think that I was 14. But yeah, that's where it started. And yeah, it was, trying to remember, it was, I think, good. But not sure, because the place had not the greatest acoustic. But it was in collaboration with MTV and stuff like that. But
Cool.
yeah, that was something. But when did you start to play guitar and sing?
I think I was around 13, so I've been doing this for a while. And actually, I started with a guitar that my father made when he was a teenager. I still actually have it, not here, but it's on, actually, I think it's in our parents' place, but it was handcrafted by him. It's not pretty though. It's not like a expensive custom guitar, but it was something. It was a guitar and it made a noise. So that was, and I remember that I have this little amp. It didn't have any like overdrive or gain, so it was all clean. And I was wondering that how can you turn it up so it can make this raw sound that those guys are making with the rocks and punk stuff. And then I just cranked the volume so high that it basically just cracked.
Oh no!
But then I remember one day I came home and my father had a little surprise for me. He was in my room. I didn't know that yet, but he was in my room and he had bought this little, I think it was, the brand was Crate. It had the really small amplifier, but that had an overdrive channel. And I came home, and when I closed the door, my father started playing, and I heard the overdrive sound coming from my room. And I ran there and saw him playing that. I was, damn, there it is. Now I can play like rock and punk.
Best
and
gift
stuff.
ever.
Yeah. And my first guitar actually is here. I bought this myself. This is my like first real guitar. It costs, was it like perhaps 115 euros? But I think I taped it all black. It's not, this is all tapes. I cut the sticker here. This is not originally in there. And I did all this. Everything is black, but it's tape. But I had to have a black guitar. This was not black, but I made it black.
You wanted.
Yeah. But yeah, that thing has stuck with me. And sometimes, time to time, I still play it. It's crap and it doesn't play that well, but it's there to remind me of the old days.
For me, I was this annoying kid who really never knew how to shut up. Hence, probably I got bullied. But that same thing went for singing. I used to sing all the time when I was very little, and even when I was a little older. My father always, from time to time, reminds me of the time where I wanted to do a maiden song. We had this, our school had this kind of like a talent day. I think we were at second or third grade, and I that was my first live performance of sorts when I did the song "The Evil That Men Do." With a backing track, with no mic, no nothing, in front of the whole school, and man, the ovation I got was like, wow. Well, of course, it was different. I just wanted to display my singing ability, which was pretty rare in boys at that age. But as for the style we're currently doing, that came in during the bottom phase. I also started playing guitar somewhere around when I was like 13, and I had this hideous monstrosity of a PC Rich Beast guitar, which was black and it had red stripes, and it was straight up rad. So I did discover drop tuning then, and the whole world opened, and I had overdrive channel, and I did, like, at some point in my teens I knew something from almost all genre of bottom songs how to play on guitar. And for the easier songs, I was going through my teenhood and puberty, and my voice had already been lowered to kind of similar that it is now. And yeah, so then I was in our garage. I was playing through the Children of Bottom songs, and I tried to do the Aleksi Kiianlehto screams while at it. And yeah, then it kind of picked up from there. In my first bands, nobody wanted to sing, so I was like, guess I'll do it. And then I started learning some techniques, and I'm pretty glad that I did. Now, 15 years later, we've come pretty far, and we're doing pretty awesome stuff right now. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, there is a question that I have to ask, because I have this chat with a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, because most of metal musicians cannot read chords on a pentagram. So I need to ask you, are you able to read notes, chords on chords?
Like real notes?
Yeah.
Barely, but I would say no.
I think that I have to ask every time so I can do a stat about the answer and see if he was right or not. Because I know how to read notes, but the school we had to learn. So, and music was something that I love. One of the few things that I love from school. it was music, art, and physical education. So everything else was not my thing at all. And you can hear from my English that, yeah, English was not something.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, now it's better. Now it's better. But yeah, music was something. But then I don't know how it works in Finland. I know that most people are able to play, or at some point of their life they had to play something. But I don't know how the school system really works. I don't have really that information.
When I was school, the music, well, it was there, but it was quite a small part of it. There were some band like activities you could attend to, and well, we had an awesome music teacher. Of course, it's if the teacher is good and interested in it, so he can pull the children to it and enjoy it more by showing example. And he played guitar, and that was one thing that I admired about him. He was so good with the guitar and singing at the same time. But there could be more in the school system, I think. Of course, there are other stuff that is important to know, like we need to know history so we don't repeat the bad stuff in there and stuff.
Well, I think that human beings never learn.
Well, yeah, it seems so.
But speaking about the musical education in the Finnish school system, is that, well, I have a whole different experience than Olli does here. Well, our music teacher was a bit to the older side. She stated very clearly in the start of the school year, where we were supposed to have some cool band type activities, that she gets a headache when anybody plays the drums with sticks. So So yeah, that basically killed every bit of motivation to do anything during the lesson. But since we were already invested in music in say 8th, 9th grade, and we used to jam with my friend with the guitars, and our friend was like a novice in drums, but he could stay with us. So we just asked that, hey, can we play something during the recess? Can we go to the music class? Sometimes it was a no, but sometimes when we had double lessons, then she said, I will go grab coffee and you can make noise while I'm away, but it needs to cease when I come back. So yeah, it was a it was a different experience, but I definitely second that there could be more. There could be band camps for students interested in music. It would do very good for a younger generation who's interested in music, perhaps.
Yeah, and in Italy, I don't know now how is it the situation. I think that is pretty much the same, because Italy school system is still very old style, very boring style, very basic maybe. But music there was a lot of theory, so we had to know about classical music, who composed that. Do I remember everything? No. Some part, yeah, the one that I liked more, Mozart, yeah, I remember better than others, or Beethoven, but yeah, then there were some more boring for me. But we had theory, and then we had music, but we didn't have the opportunity to play anything else than the flute.
Well, we had that also.
We had that too.
What is it with the flute? Why though?
I don't know, man. It's
Of
such a
all
cheap
the
instrument.
instruments, why the fucking flute?
I must say that I can still remember some songs. We had this very kind teacher. This man who was so sweet, and my classmates were like, oh my god, they were so wild, and he was just teaching for those who were interested. The other ones were doing their stuff. I was one of those that was interested, and then he was asking, what song do you want that we play? So we asked him to play certain songs. So he put on the board, on the blackboard, he wrote the notes, and then we played together. Yeah, that was nice, even if there were not other instruments at that point. But I think that for people that are into that love music, that is a start anyway. But there was the opportunity to go and sing. It was some extra hour. I didn't do that because I realized pretty soon that I'm not going to be a singer. And at some point when I had a band back in time, I played the bass, and the beginning was always because people were late, so the other one were just jamming. And then when the singer finally arrived, the last one, then it was why they are not listening to me? No, give me the microphone. So I start to sing, and they were, no, stop, Christina, please. It's so terrible. Our ears are bleeding, so stop. So yeah, I'm not good at singing, but I can make people ears bleed. This is a talent. But let's take my jar and let's see what topic we get here. This feels good. No, we talk about social media, and this come always. I will take it away for a while. Dreams. So, did you achieve any of your dreams so far in your life?
That's a big question.
Want to start?
Not really.
Hmm. Have I achieved dreams? Well, to a certain point, yes. If well, with the band stuff, for example, my first dream was to play a gig with a real band. It happened. Then I wanted to play a club gig. It happened. And then they got bigger and bigger. Then I wanted to release music. It happened. And so, kind of, yeah. But of course, there are bigger dreams. But
You
at
need
least,
always to have
mm,
bigger dreams, and
yeah, I think everybody
you
have
you work
those.
towards that. And
Yeah,
if it
I,
happened,
mm,
great. If it didn't, well, you keep
mm.
working.
I'm pretty sure that everybody has those like dreams that are not, you can't actually achieve them in a way.
Or
You
it's
have
very
those,
unlikely.
yeah, like those huge, huge 1 in a million things. Everybody has those, and you should have actually, because they are the ones that drive you towards it, even though you can't achieve it, but still. But you, in a way, you still have to remember to set the goals for certain things that you can achieve, so you can enjoy like the feeling of achievement. And big, smaller goals and dreams build up to those bigger dreams.
Yeah.
For sure. And I was about to take a similar perspective onto this matter. But I instantly, when we talk about dreams, we of course talk about life and bigger dreams in general. But with the band stuff, it's been pretty much the same. I wanted to play a show at a club. That happened. I wanted to release music, which I had some input in, like composition or lyrics or whatever. That happened too. And for me, the next step was playing at a festival, which also happened.
No, that was actually for me, and we did it together.
We did it together, yeah. And that was quite some moment playing Numerock. Wow.
Mm.
Well, of course, then what are the next steps? Like play a sold out headliner show, for example, or play an ice hall or a stadium, or actually one pretty achievable dream with the band that I have yet to achieve is to play abroad. And this might sound very small and ridiculous, but just to do the speak in English at a show, that's been a small achievable dream that I hope will get achieved in a year or so. But in life in general, I mean, I'm still not even hit my 30s yet. My studies are still in progress. I'm not yet at a job I can imagine doing for the next 30 years and all of that. But I mean, yeah, just as Olli said, they keep us when we have bigger dreams and say we achieve one dream and then we move on to the next. That's what fuels us to go forward.
Yeah. I think also that every dreams that you have, there is the right time always, and sometimes you wish to achieve something, but you are not at that point of your life where you are ready to achieve that. And I have learned, I'm well older than you. I don't know about Olli, how old you are, but Allu, you are younger, way younger than me. Well, way, like if it's all this big different at the end, but well, yeah, I think at least 10 years. So, but I I achieve things that I was dreaming of when I was like 18, 19, in my 30s. And at that moment, I was thinking that they were like, well, that's gone. It's not going to happen anyway. And then they just happen. So
Hmm.
it was like, okay, so now I'm doing this and this. And for me, it's quite work related always, or as professionally, I'm that kind that work is something that I want always to improve, to do something more. And yeah, of course, I have bigger dreams. So my biggest dream was to move to Finland. I did that.
Hey,
Yeah, that was like the biggest goal. Another big goal was to interview bands. I'm doing that.
We are.
Yeah, and then I was to take photos of bands. I'm doing that. And I still have, for example, I would love to be able to go on tour with a band. That will be like, be the official photographer. That will be like one of the greatest thing for me, just to be able to be. And yeah, but that is the next, that maybe if I work well, if I work more on my photos, at some point someone will drop the question, are you able to come? So that's something. But let's see. In life, I'm kind of optimistic person, and some people are bothered about that. But I always say that in life everything can happen. Sometimes there is need of time, and more I'm working as physiotherapist, more I realize that yeah, time is a very big thing, and people just need more to realize that things happen when the time is ready.
And some things just takes time in general.
Yeah, you have to work on things to make them happen. Sometimes there is, lucky. Someone is more lucky than others, so get more chance more easily. But
Of course.
just keep working. So for everybody that are watching this episode, keep working on your dreams, and they will happen at some point, hopefully. But let's pick another. I'm just talking today so much. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
Drinks. So, what do you like to drink usually? Are you more on the alcohol or unalcoholic?
That really depends on the time of the year and the weekday. I'm trying to cut down energy drinks, but pretty unsuccessfully, really.
It's a goal, a dream to cut.
Yeah, it can be also a dream. And of course, I mean, who can resist the cold beer on a warm day at a terrace? Not many. Even if it's not alcoholic beer, it might be very good. So
Yeah.
that's probably the drink side, which I enjoy, and I'm not a great consumer of energy drinks anymore. So that I'm pretty happy about.
Good on you.
I'm a caffeine addict, I have to admit.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, I know. I have been cutting it down, and I made a mistake. I had a period when I drank like the whole pot,
Yeah.
and then some energy drinks on top of that. And then I realized, okay, yeah, this is a bit too much, maybe. And I did the thing the way I sometimes do. I cut it all the way off straight away. And I had the worst headache of my life for 2 days. It felt like someone had just hit an axe through my head, and that stayed like 2 days. So that kind of taught me something. And coffee in general is for me is a kind of like a drug, because I get addicted to it so easily. But nowadays I just drink 2 or 3 cups the most. So I have been successful cutting it down pretty much, and I've been loving the what I think it's Estonian thing. No, what was the let me see, like sparkling water. Värska.
Värska vai?
Yes, it's Estonian, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I think it is. Yeah, the Estonian
Yeah.
tonic mineral water.
Yeah, and I have been addicted to that now, but at least it's water. Well, it has quite a lot of salt in it, so can't drink that too much, but still it's better than drinking energy drinks and stuff.
Yeah. I must admit that caffeine was a big thing for me. I don't like coffee. I come from one of the city of coffee where there are few of those. What's the name?
Roasteries,
Well,
maybe.
yeah, they do coffee there. So
Yeah.
one is Illy, Hausbrand, and then there was something else. But yeah, I don't like coffee. Everybody thinks that there's something wrong with me. But since childhood, I think since I was 2 years old, I drank Coca-Cola. And at some point, there were many years where I have been just drinking Coca-Cola, nothing else, just Coca-Cola. And in my early 20s, then I started to add some burning in my stomach and pain. So I decided to cut a bit, but it was like I cannot stop. So then I started to drink 1 glass per day, and that was for quite a long time. Then at some point, few years ago, I had this vertigo episodes, and then I was like researching what can it cause that. So I decided then to try to cut off and don't drink cola anymore. So I did. The first 5 days I was like craving it, but no, I cannot. And now, yeah, I mean, I have been drinking sometimes when I'm outside. For example, it's McDonald's or something like that. Yeah, I can drink, but I don't feel the need to have that. So it feels great because most of my life I had that feeling that without that I cannot function. That it's a stupid idea, but the brain is a complex machine.
Well, it was the same thing with me with coffee.
Yeah, but you cut too much too fast. You need to do.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, because
Definitely
otherwise
mistake.
you had this episode. Yeah, but yeah, and if you have to choose, you are outside, night out, drinking some alcoholic drinks. So what do you choose? What do you order at the bar? Is it a beer? Is it a Lonkero? Or it's some other drinks, some whiskey, vodka, or whatever?
When I was 18, and there was this bar called Rocktown in Hämeenlinna, which was the place to be. It has the all black walls and ceiling and chains hanging around everywhere and stuff. So we were always there. I always drank Lonkero and tequila, which are both drinks I despise now. They are I can't for some reason.
You had too much.
Yep.
But yeah, it was the same for me with most of the long drink flavors. But yeah, go ahead, answer the question.
But for me, it's beer. Beer is always good.
Which kind of beer?
It depends. I actually like to taste different kind of beers. There's actually a very good beer house here in Hämeenlinna called Birger, and they keep changing the taps all the time. So I'm not picky on that. But if I want something different than beer, maybe rum with cola.
Yeah.
What about Allu?
Yeah, well, as I said, I went through multiple Lonkero flavors, which I probably had too many and thus don't like them anymore. But well, for me, what I'm ordering if I'm out on a night out, it really depends on the mood, really. For me, I also like my beer. I like to try out different kinds of beers. Say, when I was in London, there was this Camden Helles lager, which was heavenly. I haven't seen it in Finland, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a multitude of different beers which I like. As for Lonkero, it would probably be the ananas pineapple Lonkero.
Oh,
yeah.
the lime one is good also.
Lime one is okay. I'm not that big into lime anyway, but it's okay. If I have to pick like a drink, then I'm going for a Xante Mule. My friend who's an ex-bartender does a wicked Xante Mule, and I will never back down from it. It's just
Yeah.
mwah.
I must say that I'm quite picky. So also when it comes to beer, I like Pils, Lager, Weizen. Yeah, those are Weizen. Those are the ones that go. But I have a problem in Finland. So I don't like the way they drug the beer. Because drinking the beer should be kind of hard. And but I know that in Finland people want the drink fast. They don't care about the right way to do that.
Yeah.
But it should be a process that you as client enjoy to watch when the beer comes. I feel like all the person saying things like this. But yeah, so drugging the beer and then you have to wait because the foam, you always need to have the foam. So there is all the process, and then it depends on the beer. If it's an English one, it can take up to 8 minutes also to have your beer properly. So in Finland, it's difficult to find the places that they know how to do, and sometimes they give you this beer without the foam and it tastes like not good. But you drink
Water,
anyway.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then now I am admitting something that people will judge me. Finnish people will judge me. Well, I don't like Lonkero. I don't understand it. Yeah, not my thing.
It's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not for
really
everyone.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
I
sweet.
don't have a problem with sweet, but it's something else. It doesn't
For
work
me,
with
it's
me.
the sweetness. For me, I
And
can't.
for most people who don't like long drinks, I think they don't find a fondness in the gin, which is in Lonkero typically. They
Maybe,
can like taste it through the sweetness that's meant to cut it down and make it taste like a regular old soda or something like that.
yeah, maybe I don't know I don't know. There is something that it doesn't work, but I don't like wine neither. So I'm a weird person when it comes. I'm a picky person, so that's the thing. And talking about picky things, let's go and talk about the most important topic of this interview. Finally, we are at the moment for pizza. So, do you
Yes.
like pizza?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
We went ahead and ordered our favorite pizzas for the show.
And
Great.
I have
So,
to admit, I already. Well, I have few pieces left.
I
so,
only had a taste before, but it's still there.
so what's your favorite pizza?
Mine has chicken, kebab, feta, and habaneros
Very
or
Finnish.
jalapenos.
For me, it's gonna be what the well, not local because they're mostly Turkish owned, but the Turkish pizzerias in Finland, they all label it the driver special. It has pepperoni, garlic, like mince, like proper garlic, usually some extra cheese and mozzarella. So it's a bit plain, a bit to the hotter side, but oh man, the combination, it's just so good. I wish more restaurants had chorizo. That's actually something I really enjoy. Only a very few pizza places have chorizo available as a topping, and it's a shame. So if any pizzerias are listening to this,
get chorizo.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried a proper Italian pizza?
I have to say probably not. There is a great place in Tampere called Napoli.
Yeah, but that's not really.
No, it's
proper.
not. But that's the closest pizza place I've seen that makes like proper pizzas, to be said.
Yeah, I will tell you in a while what's the proper pizza, where you can find the proper pizza in Finland.
Okay,
nice. I do not know whether or not I have had real Italian pizza, but I have visited there's a restaurant in Helsinki which is ranked 8th in the top 50 pizzerias of all Europe. It's called the Forza, and for what I can tell, the cooks were Italian, and all the pizzas there were like Italian style, and it was next level. The pizzas were very simple, but I haven't tasted a tastier pizza in my life. It was amazing. I hope that it's Italian, because then I can say I have had real Italian pizza.
I think that someone, there is this page on Facebook where Italian people that live in Finland write. Once it was more active, now people are not active anymore. I don't know what happened, but there were people just fighting over silly things. But I think that someone mentioned that pizzeria, but I have never tried. But in Helsinki, I must say that I try one Italian pizzeria, and yeah, it was like to be in Italy, except for the price. But it's Via Tribunali.
Oh, I've been there too. So that's Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I can say I have had real Italian pizza, but I will boldly claim, whether Forza was Italian or not, it was better. It was miles better.
Okay, yeah. And I think also when it comes to pizza, there are a lot of things that make the pizza different. It's the water, it's the tomatoes, it's a bit of everything that. And also the oven is like a wood oven or it's gas. The normal, the right pizza is a wooden oven, but it's not possible to have that everywhere. But yeah, and when you are going to Italy, be careful not going to those tourist places, because there is never good food there. So just ask to people that are from the place where to eat, where there is the best pizzeria, because otherwise you are just spending more money than normal and having not good food. So a reminder to this.
Yeah.
But now let's get to the question. The world is divided into pineapple on pizza and pineapple not.
I was just pulling this topic. It's a good way to start a fight.
What's your opinion on that?
I have a funny story about pineapple on pizza and bands. Well, the band I was prior joining Watuhs, it's called Nation in Despair, or was. We had a new guitarist joining in. he was coming for his first practice, which was more like an audition, but he had practiced all the songs beforehand, and it was basically a done deal. Just come on over and show that you can do everything like we saw in the videos, and you can claim how to do. Well, after the practice or the audition, it was clear. We shook hands, we welcomed in and headed for a post-practice pizza, which we always did. So we were in Espoo at the time, and we headed to this local pizza place. And well, we queued our pizzas, placed our orders in, and then we heard this guy, the new guitarist, was last in line. And of course, he ordered pineapple. And we decided to pull a little prank on him, where we would just simply, like, everyone would like go all serious and not a word spoken, and everyone would just look at him like he's committed a murder or something, and ask very calmly, "What did you just do?" And the guy was all scared that what did he do? We had just like met in person, and he was genuinely scared he had done something to like ruin everything. But yeah, then we explained it was the pineapple and pizza, and of course we revealed it then, and it was all fun and laughs. But yeah, that was a funny prank.
But do you do pineapple on pizza?
Oh no,
You are a no person.
no! I'm a passionate hater, I must admit.
Well, let's start a fight then.
Yes, we already had a fight about the toppings on a normal bread, like a sandwich.
Yeah, this is another one. Does the cheese go on top of the ham
Are we
or
going
under
there?
the ham? We had a
Are we
lengthy
seriously
fight.
going
The
there?
cheese
Yeah.
under the ham.
It goes under because the butter is there, and well, let's not start that fight. Let's be in this pineapple thing now. Well, for me, pineapple cuts the saltiness. So, yeah, it could be there. It can be good there.
I mean, I may sound like a caveman doing this statement, but you see, sweet is with sweet, salty is with salty.
I
Nah,
must
man.
agree. I must
No,
agree.
no.
I-
You just have different components in your food. There's the salty, there's the savory, there's the sweetness, the umami and stuff. If you have those in a perfect balance.
No, but you can have far more suitable toppings to cut the saltiness, such as, well, Americans do it with ranch, but you can have mayo, like regular old mayo. You can have like aioli in there. You can cut it with so much options to cut the saltiness, and on that I do agree on. But still, unga bunga, sweet is sweet, salty is salty.
I'm kind
You
of
have the
agree
right
with
to have
what you
that
were
opinion.
saying, but I'm not agree on the way you want to cut the saltiness. But
I know,
I'm also agree that sweet with sweet and salty with salty, and yeah, but it's a kind of taste. If someone wants to eat the pizza with pineapple, whatever, it's not my pizza. And if someone offer me pineapple pizza, I will not say no because I love to eat, but I will take off the pineapple.
Same.
I did that
Same.
many times, and I don't care what people think. Also, yesterday, I did take off the cucumber from the. I was offered, and then I just took off, and for me it's normal. I'm a picky person, so I do whatever I want if I want to eat. Otherwise, I don't take. But then the dog of my client was happy to eat the cucumber. So
Yeah,
it was a
and in the end,
win-win.
yeah, in the end, it's your product, and you decide what's on top of it. If somebody orders you a pizza with pineapple, yeah, okay, but I'm not eating that. I can just pick them right off.
Yeah. So
I have a weird thing with, well, of course, pineapple on pizza is one thing, but I have a weird thing where I cannot eat a tomato as a tomato. I can eat tomato products such as ketchup and, well, a tomato sauce or all products tomato. But if you tell me to grab a tomato and take a bite out of it, I'm never doing it.
okay.
For me, it's the raisins. You can eat them on your own, but don't put them in, like, they don't belong anywhere.
I
On a
don't
bun-
like
on a bun,
raisins.
no way. On sima, no way. That's even more uglier or nasty. And you can eat them by themselves, but don't mix them with anything else.
I agree.
You
I
see,
agree on
now,
that.
Olli, now we agree too. So is the fight settled for now? Not about the sandwich toppings, though. We are.
Yeah, we
continuing
actually
the
did
conversation.
not finish that one, the ham and the cheese one.
So
So
I'm
maybe we have to
Italian,
continue
so
that
I'm
on
going to
Sunday.
tell you the sandwich. If you want to have a win-win and make peace on this topic, is bread. If you want, you put butter, and you can put your cheese and your ham, and then another bread piece. So then it's a win-win.
Mhm.
But then we can start another topic on which comes on top of which.
Well, you decide on which side you want.
You can just turn it around.
Yeah, and eat it like this.
Well,
there,
if you
there are
if you
so
can,
many funny fights on the food things. The other one is like the what is näkkäri in English? Like the dry bread.
I think so.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't have a
yeah,
packet of
I think that
left.
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but well, the dry bread thingy, it has the other side of it is smooth, and the other side has kind of holes in it. So now the question is which side the butter goes. That's the other fight people usually have. Because you can combine that. Yeah, you can combine that fight then with the cheese and ham fight, because you can put those also in there. So you can have like a double effed up bread. So you put the butter on the wrong side, and then you put the ham first, and then the cheese. That's like double effed up.
There are a lot of things. The way of eating, for example, in Finland, people used to put everything on one plate. That it makes sense. You don't need to clean many plates after, so it's quite clever in that way. In Italy, you are not going to do that. It's a big no. Every food has its own plate, but then you have to clean them. So if you, and it's always the starter, so you have some, it may be some tomato mozzarella with some oils, or it can be some prosciutto or salams or cheese, and then you have the first, that is usually pasta or soup or stuff like that. The second one is meat, and then there is the contorno, that is usually salad or some potatoes, and then dessert. Always, I'm Italian, so I'm always have my dessert every single time. It may be a biscuit or whatever, but I need to have the sweet at the end.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
I could ask you, Christina, what do you think of people who say order at a fast food restaurant and they do the milkshake before everything? How barbaric is that?
Yeah, that's weird. That's quite a weird to order and having that before everything else. But the weirdest thing for me that I'm still not understanding about Finnish people is the milk. Milk with lunch or with dinner.
No, like as a drink.
Yeah, it's something that I don't understand. I understand as a breakfast, but with salty stuff, it doesn't really link. Also, I don't like milk, so
I don't know what's that in English, but Piimä is something I don't understand.
Sour
But
milk.
milk, however, I do understand.
Sour
Milk.
milk.
Oh.
It's usually a thing if you go to a grill to have a milk with it in Finland. That's the way to go drink with the grill food.
Okay,
It's
that's
half
interesting.
a liter milk with your burger or whatever you want to order from the grill.
That's interesting. I mean, it's something that I don't understand, but also I don't like milk, so probably it doesn't really touch me in the way that maybe people that drink milk. But it's
I
something.
used to drink a lot of milk, but nowadays I don't drink it at all.
Yeah, I like cheese and yogurt, so yeah, I'm okay with my calcium intake, but. Yeah, milk is since I was a child. I think that my mother tried to give me milk as a baby. I didn't want. I was picky since the day I was born. So then at some point when I start school, I remember trying to have a cereal with the milk, and then I threw up at school. So my mom at some point decided, you are not going to have any breakfast because you are going to throw up, and then they are going to call, and no. So that's the story. But let's get to the question that the previous guest left for you. So the question is, what's the greatest movie soundtrack or score of all time?
Oh,
Whoa.
hard one.
That's a tough one. I gotta say, I was really impressed with Oppenheimer, just by the sheer like compositional value of it, of how it like it builds the world to be even bigger than it already is somehow, and well, I'm big for Christopher Nolan movies anyway, so I think that was the last one that really like shook me as far as the movie track soundtrack goes. That's the first one I can really think of which really like stopped me. So I'm gonna name that. What about you, Olli?
I'm trying to think. This has the effect when you ask something, what's your favorite song? You immediately forget everything.
Yeah.
It feels like you have never listened music before at that point. I'm having that moment right now. But for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, The Matrix had awesome music in it. But there are so many more to choose from. I can't really tell.
Quite tricky question.
It is.
It is.
But now it's your time to choose a question for the next guest, and it can be whatever you want, really. The first thing that comes to your mind. It can be a serious thing or it can be a silly thing. You do you.
I have a silly one if Olli doesn't have one right on top of his head.
Go ahead.
Reveal to the listeners of Metal Pizza your worst Spinal Tap or a first show fail moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what they will.
Those are always funny, and I was actually inspired by that because I saw the clip of I don't remember the guy's name, but the singer from Brand of Sacrifice who was about to start the song, and he fell like backwards right on his back, but still managed to like kick the song off and keep the show going, just laughing in between lines, and it was hilarious.
I think when it comes to mistakes on live, because they happen and they will happen.
Yes, they will.
The real thing is that when they happen, just like go with it. If you start to haggle and trying to make it like it didn't happen, that's like the worst thing. But
then everybody will.
Live is live. Things happen. So
yeah.
and it can be funny. So, yeah.
Yeah, I must say that a lot of, sometimes there are those videos of, usually singers or guitar player. So like you, um, well, that they fell from the stage, and I think that it's so scary. Did they hurt themselves? Are they okay? It may be dangerous.
Yeah, actually, I've taken a couple of bumps of my own, which the worst one was kind of similar, like the Brand of Sacrifice one I just explained, but I hit my head on the drum stage. That was a one-way trip to Concussor City. But yeah, it was a bad one. But the real funny one was with my other project. I'm a live MC for some Medea Samuli Peltola has his own solo project, Circuit Breaker, and we will actually doing a show in Pori. And there was 2 floor monitors, like as high as the stage was, but they were just that like this apart from each other. And I had this huge part where I was doing like solo vocals for an entire part, which was really intensive. So of course I placed my both feet on top of the 2 floor monitors, but then I started like I moved, of course, but I stepped right in between them and fell right on my side. And I just played it off by taking this like a pose where I still kept doing the vocals, and for the viewers it was funniest shit ever, and I was sweating like holy shit, like how am I gonna save this? But yeah, for example, that fall was very funny. Of course, sometimes serious things can happen. We mentioned Dave Grohl falling from stage and breaking his leg earlier in the episode, but it's really the funny stories, funny fails from live shows that we want to hear, like these worst Spinal Tap moments and stuff. It was actually funny. We discussed with Onni from Assemble the Chariots during our Helsinki gig about the craziest stuff that has happened during the live shows, and they're always interesting and funny to discuss.
Yeah, was that the Meara Klubi show that happened?
Oh, it actually was, yeah, Meera Klubi show with
I
Circuit
was
Breaker.
there, but I'm trying to remember who else was playing that day.
I think there was Golden Rot and Atlases, maybe. It was some Pori-based band. I don't remember.
Yeah. So I probably did not any interviews that day. But why I don't remember your fall?
That I don't know because I remember it pretty well.
Well, I will ask others if they remember. I have good memory, but apparently very short.
Or maybe I just played it off so well that you don't, don't remember it because of that.
May be, or maybe I went to take a beer. I'm not sure. Yeah, now I'm thinking, and I will thinking still tomorrow and the day after, and probably the next week. No, maybe not. But yeah, let's see what they will answer about your question. But now we are at the end of this episode of Metal Pizza. So, what else would you like to say to people that are watching or listening this?
So, if you're listening to this, and I hope you did, because at the start we shared some interesting and important opinions on loneliness and mental health in general. It is an important matter to discuss, and for everyone listening, whether you're in a band or a listener or a promoter or whatever you are, just make sure that in your life you keep your loved ones close, and hey, just call an old friend, ask them how they're doing. They might be having a silent crisis on their own, locked in their own homes involuntarily. And if you want to support our cause for the mental health thing, by the time this episode airs, the Bandcamp pre-sale of the charity shirt will go live. And just to remind everyone that all the profits will go to charity, to Finnish Red Cross, to help the youth, and the Voluntarily Friend program for people experiencing and suffering from loneliness. And of course, do give a listen to our latest single, which is themed around the topic Vanish into Grey.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank you so
fun.
much.
And a very long episode is this one. So I hope that everybody staying from the beginning to the end.